Let's dance. WA rings in phase 4, but not without a warning. While the military hits the streets of Melbourne to help with testing, corona cases climb again. Drugs and weapons seized as WA jails reopen to visitors. A record-breaking day in the US. Almost 45,000 corona cases diagnosed in just 24 hours. And Simo spray as the Eagles bomb in the hub again.
This is 10 News First Perth with Narelda Jacobs.
Good evening. Western Australia has danced into phase. No more limits on gatherings and restrictions for nightclubs and the casino have also been lifted. And we can finally stand at the bar and enjoy a beer, which is exactly what the Premier did today.
Ringing in phase 4. West Aussies counted down to midnight last night when WA again led the nation in relaxing restrictions.
It's been like, 3 months? So we on it tonight.
Pubs and clubs welcomed punters back onto the dance floor, with lines down the street to get in.
Been about an hour. Half an hour. What do you mean? It's been months. Get back amongst it. We've been waiting for months.
The casino opened its doors this morning also, but there's no gambling with the rules. The 2-person per square metre law still applies. While WA continued its streak of 0 new coronavirus cases overnight, authorities say we can't be complacent.
We've avoided at this point in time a catastrophe, and that's due to the work of the people across the state. I just remind everyone, however, the threat remains. The prospect is the virus will at some point in time come back.
We are planning for that. In order to respond to it, we know what to do.
Meanwhile, in the Premier's neck of the woods, the Swinging Pig in Rockingham made good on its promise for a free meal to anyone named Mark.
I don't have to cook it, and it's free. Best thing ever. And I don't have to clean it up either.
And it didn't stop there.
Well, the Premier kept his promise to come down to the Swinging Pig in Rockingham, and the pub kept its promise to buy a round for everyone at the bar if he rocked up.
They came from far and wide to have a beer with the Premier.
Up at 3:30 this morning and we drove from Kalgoorlie.
Free beer. I'm all for that. He should come down more often.
Some even dressed like a Mark.
Thank you for opening the pub.
That's my pleasure. Okay.
The most popular Premier in the country, signing autographs and meeting with his doppelgangers.
You got your own fan club. How does it feel?
Well, I feel short next to these guys. Look at this guy.
A frothy for phase 4, but no sign of opening up to the rest of the nation anytime soon.
I know everyone would like us to give a certain date, but I can't do that. It wouldn't be safe or right to do so.
Brendan Crew for 10 News First.
Different scenes in Melbourne where the military is on the streets, called in to help try to contain Victoria's new flare-up of coronavirus. The state today recorded 41 cases, the biggest jump in almost 3 months. And there's a new worry. School holidays begin today, meaning many Melburnians are heading out of town. That's forced regional tourism hotspots to put new safety measures in place to try to stop COVID cases from the city spreading.
Reporting for duty at the centre of Australia's coronavirus battle, doctors and nurses from the Navy, Air Force and Army stepped in to help Victoria fight the pandemic.
We're happy to do whatever we can to help, whether that's assisting with the swabbing today, assisting with patient registration, even just moving cars along.
The extra support comes at a crucial time. Victoria has recorded 41 new COVID-19 cases, most in hotspots in the city's north and southeast suburbs. 8 cases are linked to known outbreaks and 15 people caught the virus through community transmission.
Obviously we are quite concerned, and that is why we have ramped up these efforts to really find every possible case that we can find.
Just one of the new cases is in hotel quarantine. Victoria is seeking legal advice about mandatory testing for travellers, while New South Wales has moved to enforce longer quarantine for travellers who refuse a test.
And we have enough testing kits here in New South Wales now to say everybody must absolutely be tested, and if you don't, then you'll have to serve another 10 days in our quarantine hotels.
Suburban spread remains the focus in Melbourne. Residents in areas of concern have been sent text messages urging them to get tested. And with orders to help screen 100,000 people over 10 days, these servicemen and women have a huge task ahead.
I think it's good that
the people in charge are getting as many people on board to help manage the process as possible.
Well, it just gives you a sense of security that more people are helping Victoria in a state of need that we currently have.
So far, 12 Defence Force officers are on the ground at 3 testing sites around Melbourne, but 52 others are undergoing special training and will be ready to join the Blitz effort tomorrow. And while this operation could last for weeks, the economy must forge on. Major tourist attractions today welcoming back visitors for the beginning of school holidays, but with extra precautions.
We've reopened with about 20% of our normal capacity and just 3 days a week, so easing into that process.
Regional areas like the Victorian snowfields will take extra care too, with new testing centres and temperature checks in the hope this new spike will stay in the city. Estelle Lewis for 10 News First.
Repatriation has South Australian authorities bracing for an influx of COVID-19 cases. Almost 300 Australian citizens arrived in Adelaide this morning from Mumbai and were taken straight to a hotel to begin their 14 days of supervised quarantine. It's anticipated up to 25 of them could be carrying the virus. South Australia's had more than a month without any new cases. Drugs and dangerous weapons have been seized during a blitz on visitors to WA jails. They were locked out during COVID, which saw a drop in prison contraband.
A haul of contraband, weapons in parts, blowtorches and drugs all destined for inside WA prison walls. Knives, knuckle dusters, a tomahawk, along with CD cases used to conceal electric scales to make illicit substances. And that's just the start of the cash uncovered during a blitz at Hakea and Melaleuca jails today.
For people who are attempting to smuggle contraband into WA prisons, there's a welcome party for them.
During COVID-19, our prisons and detention centres were almost clean.
About 1,170 people were tested and 9 people had drugs in their system. That is a massive drop. And significant for any prison system.
Authorities want to keep them that way as they reopen to visitors.
You're not doing your loved ones, friends any favours whatsoever. You're just making it more difficult for them and you're going to get yourself into trouble and you'll probably go from a visitor to a prisoner.
At the car park entry, sniffer dogs had guests surrounded. New handheld X-ray technology used to scan every car. This operation is happening at prisons around the state, meaning there's more chance of getting caught. Authorities warning of tougher new penalties for visitors caught trying to smuggle in contraband.
A $12,000 fine and up to 18 months in prison, and there's a range of other options for refusing to be searched and things like that.
The message, zero tolerance, with the crackdown to continue. Alexandra Ristway for 10 News First.
COVID-19 is hitting the US harder than ever before. Almost 45,000 new cases have been recorded in 24 hours, the biggest one-day total so far. In Florida alone, another 9,000 people are being diagnosed. More new cases in one day than Australia has recorded in the entire pandemic.
The streets of Florida lined by a COVID testing convoy, the Sunshine State reaching a bleak record, 9,000 new daily cases, as doctors across the country diagnosed nearly 45,000, the most in any one day. The President only spoke briefly, spruiking success.
We're making a lot of progress with the whole situation that came in from a place called China.
His Vice President left to defend the whole situation. Without wearing a mask, he cited the Constitution to condone recent Trump rallies.
And even in a health crisis, the American people don't forfeit our constitutional rights.
The finger of blame pointed at young Americans for rushing back to normal life as the pandemic rages on.
People are infecting other people, and then ultimately you will infect someone who's vulnerable.
Half of the country's new cases have come from California, Texas and Florida, with Houston hospitals reporting ICUs have hit 100% capacity. As the NBA pushes ahead with its Tuesday comeback, despite 16 players testing positive, governors in the hardest hit states have again been forced to close bars and other businesses.
These are places that opened while they were still increasing. To open while you're increasing is kind of like leaning into a left hook. You're going to get hit.
Blows are also being exchanged over Facebook's new policy on how it handles hate speech.
If we determine the content may lead to violence or deprive people of their right to vote, we're going to take that content down, no matter who says it.
But earlier this month, the platform refused to remove the president's post about shooting looters. It's cost the site several major advertisers, leaving Zuckerberg to ponder the price of free speech. Paris Martin for 10 News First.
A man's been shot dead by police in Scotland after stabbing 6 people at a hotel in the centre of Glasgow. One of those injured is a police officer, stabbed as he tried to overpower the attacker. Europe correspondent Phoebe Bowden reports.
Police storm a Glasgow hotel where a knifeman is on the loose. It was supposed to be a safe haven for refugees during the pandemic, but instead became the scene of a harrowing nightmare with 6 people seriously injured.
Blood coming from their torso and on the steps. It's not something you expect to see on a Friday afternoon.
It's understood a receptionist was targeted first.
When I reached down the reception, there were blood everywhere. Then I've seen one of the receptionists. He's been fighting for his life behind the receptionist's desk.
Before the attacker indiscriminately stabbed 5 more people, police were quickly on the scene and shot him dead. Among the wounded, 42-year-old officer David White, who was stabbed repeatedly as he tried to overpower the knifeman.
Who is in a critical but stable condition. The officer's family are aware and being supported.
Less than a week ago, 3 men were killed in a terror-related stabbing attack in England. Police aren't treating this incident as terrorism.
Clearly there have been some tensions in Glasgow, as there have been in other parts of the UK in recent times.
An investigation continues tonight into what provoked the rampage as 6 innocent victims fight for their lives. Phoebe Bowden for 10 News First, London.
A corruption of medicine. That's how the AMA has described prescription services being provided by pharmacies and pop-up clinics via telehealth. With coronavirus now largely under control, there are calls for the federal government to step in.
Dial a doctor and score a script.
Hi, I was wondering if I can order a prescription.
In an on-demand era, Australians have embraced telehealth with 16 million consultations for 7.5 million patients since March, taking the pressure off GP clinics during the pandemic.
Just get what they need without having to make a big deal of it.
So we've done a little bit, and it definitely looks, in today's day and age, looks like a great idea.
So long as you're talking to your own doctor.
Though that's not always the case, 72,000 providers have taken up telehealth, and the Australian Medical Association's deeply concerned about pharmacies and pop-up clinics offering instant scripts.
Somebody who decides they might want some endone, for example, or they've read something on Google about something they want, they ring up this telehealth thing because the pharmacy says they can just ring up, and then they may actually, because the person up the other end doesn't know them, get the prescription, and then really serious problems can occur.
Dr Chris Moy's calling for the federal government to crack down.
This is actually dangerous.
And ensure patients are only talking to their regular GP through telehealth. The Health Department says it's monitoring the integrity and quality of telehealth services, reaffirming they're provided by registered doctors in accordance with professional standards. The current arrangement runs until the end of September. Chloe Burris for 10 News First.
Still to come, an arson attack in Midland. A townhouse goes up in flames in an early morning blaze. Plus, a driver dies at the scene of a coup-de-nup crash. And back on their bikes, how a recycling workshop is changing lives.
It's the therapy robot doing big things for children with autism. Helping transform students who struggle with social skills.
Teachers can't do what that robot can do.
And it's already working wonders in a WA classroom. Find out how Monday on Perth's 10 News First.
The arson squad is investigating a house fire in Midland. The property on Charles Street went up in flames early this morning. Fortunately, no one was home at the time.
It's very scary because it's like literally backing onto my daughter's bedroom.
Authorities are offering rewards of up to $50,000 for information that leads to the capture of a firebug. Police have concerns for the welfare of a missing man. It's believed Troy Raymond Woods was last seen in Midland on Thursday, but hasn't been seen or heard from for a while. The 47-year-old rides a 2008 black Yamaha motorcycle. A driver has been killed in a crash in Koodanup overnight. He was travelling along Wanjeep Street around 9 when his car crossed onto the wrong side of the road and hit a tree. He died at the scene. Anyone with information should call police. It's been a dangerous 24 hours on Sydney's roads. A woman's been accused of causing a crash while 6 times the legal limit. 2 other drivers have fled the scenes of serious crashes, one straight into an apartment building.
A high-speed joyride came to a crashing end with a stolen car ploughing into an inner Sydney apartment.
It was a bit louder than thunder and we felt a rumble, so I looked outside the window.
When Leo did, this is what he saw. An abandoned Ford Falcon, a scattering of debris and shattered glass and buckled beams.
Came down in about 30 seconds to see if people are all right, but no drivers in the car.
Police had earlier pursued the vehicle, so after this, there's no way its driver nor passenger were sticking around. Residents along this strip narrowly avoided injury.
We got lucky. Just missed us. A bit of relief, but also feel bad for the other tenants.
Another Falcon driver hightailed it away from a second crash 10 kilometres away.
He just took off in the other direction.
After slamming into a parked van and bringing down a power pole. Across town, this Mercedes also came off second best against a pole, injuring its teenage driver. And a minor crash led to a shocking find, a woman at the wheel while 6 times over the legal alcohol limit. We're just following up the crash from last night. She won't be allowed back behind the wheel anytime soon. The woman's licence has already been suspended and she'll have to explain herself to a magistrate in the coming months. After a wild 24 hours on our roads, police shared the frustrations of witnesses.
We all do crazy things sometimes, but yet hopefully not to be a danger to the public and yourself.
Michael Hammond for 10 News First.
Diners at a busy Melbourne restaurant have been shot at in a possible drive-by shooting. The restaurant and a luxury car parked in the city's northwest were peppered with bullets before 11 last night. No one was in the vehicle, but the restaurant was full of customers and staff. Luckily, no one was injured. Police are hunting 2 men and a woman heard shouting on the street before the shooting. Now the state is set to be hit by wild weather. To get all the details, let's go to Amanda Jason. And Amanda, we need the rain and it looks like there's plenty coming.
There certainly is, Narelda. Perth has only seen around half their June average rainfall so far this month, but we could well and truly meet all of our June rainfall average by the end of the month, thanks to up to 50 millimetres of rain, which could come in through by early Monday. Now, we have a cold front which will move through the southwest of the state tomorrow morning, but then a second stronger front will impact the state late Sunday, bringing damaging winds, the threat of severe thunderstorms and widespread heavy rain as well. Ahead of all that, we got to a top of nearly 20 degrees today. At the moment, the temperature is sitting at 18 degrees in a light west-northwesterly wind. Our warmest temperature across the state was 34, but I'll have more details on the wild weather to come at 5 to 6.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll see you again then. Up next, an assassination attempt on a police chief. Plus, Justin Bieber's aggressive move to defend his reputation. And steering lives back on the straight and narrow, one bike at a time. Twelve men have been arrested over the attempted assassination of Mexico City's top cop. Security cameras captured the assassins leaving the back of a truck before carrying out the ambush in one of the capital's wealthiest neighbourhoods. Police Chief Omar Garcia Herfos survived being shot 3 times and is blaming drug cartels for the attack. His bodyguard, along with a bystander, were killed. Justin Bieber has filed a $30 million lawsuit against 2 women who accused him of sexual assault. Last week, 2 Twitter accounts tweeted claims about incidents alleged to have happened in 2014 and 2015. The 26-year-old pop star described the allegations as fabricated lies out of a desire for fame and attention. NASA has released a stunning 10-year time-lapse of our sun. Its Solar Dynamics Observatory has been watching it non-stop for a decade, collecting 425 million high-resolution images. The time-lapse shows the rise and fall of the sun's 11-year solar cycle, as well as spectacular events like transitioning planets and large eruptions. A simple idea is transforming the lives of some of Australia's most vulnerable people. It's a rehabilitation program where participants fix bikes to break the cycle.
In a small workshop made up of 2 shipping containers, something very special is happening.
It's a place where we recycle bikes, but it's a place where people rebuild lives.
5 days a week, Andy Steele and a group of men spend hours working here, servicing and repurposing bikes. The men have troubled backgrounds, prison, rehab, addiction, but all of them want to start over.
Every bike has something that's worth saving, whether it's a bell or a reflector. And if it's worth doing up, then we do it up and sell it through Salvo stores.
And it's never been busier. Business is booming with COVID-19 as more people look to get active. Paul Brittenden helps out with the program. He was a heroin addict for 24 years, but turned his life around with the help of others.
If I understand why it's so important to have community and be in relationship with others and have that sense of purpose.
The difference it makes is not just life-changing, but life-saving.
That if they didn't have this place, that they would be dead.
Or back where they started.
I've got a guy who came out of jail 6 weeks ago. He said to me that the other day that if I didn't have this to come to, and the structure of working with you guys and helping out here, he said I'd be back on the street putting drugs in my arm and I'd be back in jail.
It's so successful, the hope now is to roll it out to other parts of the country because everyone deserves a second chance.
We can never change lives where people have been and the things that have happened, but we can help them when they're ready to change and move forward.
John Paul Gonzo for 10 News First.
Still to come, Ros Kelly with all the day's sport. Plus, calls for more help for the 400,000 Aussies battling a debilitating health problem. And you won't believe what this rare Holden Monaro sold for. Two men are on the run after a failed attempt at stealing an ATM at a shopping centre in Melbourne's southeast. The men rammed their silver ute into the centre's doors and pulled the machine out of a wall. But after failing to lift it, they gave up and fled, driving towards police on their way out. Officers later located a second vehicle involved, abandoned nearby. There are calls tonight for an inquiry into a hidden health issue affecting thousands of Australians. The federal opposition hopes a deeper look into chronic migraines might help uncover better treatments, while also saving the economy billions of dollars. Network political editor Peter Van Onselen explains.
The opposition is calling for an inquiry into migraines in the hope of finding ways to better treat the 400,000 Australians who chronically suffer from the condition.
Chronic migraine means you can spend more than half your life debilitated, in bed, unable to work, unable to function.
A Deloitte study has revealed this hidden health problem costs the economy over $35 billion, shared equally between lost productivity and health sector costs.
It's been almost 12 months since the drug Emgality was recommended for the PBS and the minister hasn't listed it. It's just not good enough.
The government's not convinced.
Their behaviour is improper, inappropriate and is seeking to avoid the legal requirements.
The Shadow Health Minister has written to the chair of the Standing Committee on Health and Aged Care, Trent Zimmerman, citing the need for Australia to investigate new treatments capable of unlocking these underutilised workers at a time when the economy needs them.
Getting a better solution for migraine is good for the sufferers and good for the economy as well.
The headache for the government will be finding the funds to add another drug onto the PBS at a time when the strain on the budget is already immense. Peter Van Onselen for 10 News First.
A rare chance to grab a piece of Australian motoring history was on offer today in Sydney. The car that's credited with starting Holden's dominance on the racetrack was up for auction and fetched a record price at $715,000.
From this, a dynasty was born. Holden's first ever factory-built race car, the
the 1969 HT Monaro.
I'm like a little boy in a lolly shop.
Racing legend Alan Jones should know a rare piece of Aussie motoring history when he sees it.
Bench seats, column change, you know, all that sort of business. But nevertheless, they put on a great show, and that car, as I said before, has got great heritage and was the setter for what we're seeing now.
And today she goes under the hammer.
Those who win on Sunday sell on Monday. This was about selling cars. So the reason so many Australians have grown up in Holdens is because of this car.
Did you bring your wallet?
Yes, but I left my credit card at home.
But it wasn't love at first sight. Her maiden race at Sandown ended in disaster, a fiery crash due to faulty brakes. But that enforced a rethink and design. The result would set Holden up for a decade of dominance. And now, with the Holden brand set to be scrapped, demand is hot.
Aussie cars particularly are really starting to appreciate big time as people appreciate what they had.
In a late twist, the federal government stepped in last night and warned any potential buyers this Holden will be staying right here.
Well, there's no doubt that the HT Monaro is the star of the show. This little baby's turning plenty of heads today as well. It's the 1959 Ferrari Testarossa, and she's more affordable. This tribute version, yours for a mere $348,000. And for the big moment, 7 bidders started out, 2 left to fight it out.
Sold, 715,000, well bought.
A bargain for the anonymous bidder, an enthusiast who wanted to make sure this car would stay right here in Australia.
Whoever's bought it's got a lot of Australian history, and one thing is for sure, it's not going to go down.
Steve Hart for 10 News First.
It's staying in Australia. It's time for sport now with Ros Kelly. And Ros, has the Gold Coast curse continued for West Coast?
Narelda, the hub horrors continue for the West Coast Eagles, unfortunately. Out of form, away from home. Good evening. Will Schofield is in hot water for headbutting as West Coast slumped to their 3rd loss in the hub. The Eagles thumped by 48 points at the hands of Port Adelaide. Power big man Charlie Dixon dominating with 6 goals. A nail-biting finish as the supercars returned to the track in Sydney today. Scott McLaughlin started on pole and hit the all-important first corner in front, and he stayed there. The Kiwi superstar was chased all the way by countryman Shane van Gisbergen, and they got stuck in a dogfight over the final 5 laps.
What a fantastic race. We are going to the flag with McLaughlin winning over Shane van Gisbergen in a brilliant supercar return.
Yeah, he's like a cockroach. You can never get rid of him, you know. He's always around, so unbelievable. Good battle.
The teams return for 2 sprint races in Sydney tomorrow. Narelda.
Thanks, Ros. We are in for a drenching. Amanda Jason has the weather details next. Tonight's top stories. West Australians have rung in phase 4 with many restrictions lifting overnight. But we're being warned the threat isn't over and to maintain social distancing. Military personnel have arrived in Victoria to assist with coronavirus testing after a spike in cases. 41 people have been diagnosed today, the state's biggest rise in almost 3 months. And drugs and dangerous weapons have been seized as WA prisons are reopening to visitors. Guests who smuggle contraband into jails will face tough new penalties.
Good evening. We do have some pretty wild weather on the way for the next 48 hours. A cold front will hit the state tomorrow morning, and then a second stronger cold front is set to impact the south of the state over the course of Sunday night into Monday. Now, on the satellite image at the moment, it's all looking pretty calm and settled, but you can see this area of cloud that's building and waiting in the wings to the southwest of the state. As that system moves through, we could see damaging wind gusts of 90 kilometres per hour with the threat of severe thunderstorms. The second front that will move through Sunday night into Monday morning could bring wind gusts to 120 kilometres per hour. It will also bring abnormally high tides and damaging surf as well. So some pretty dangerous weather on the way for the next 48 hours. We are going to see widespread heavy rain. In fact, the lower west and southwest could see widespread falls of over 50 millimetres over a 2-day period. Of course, if you do get a severe thunderstorm, isolated falls could be much heavier than that. It will be pretty persistent as well. You notice that well into Monday, the rain keeps coming and we will continue to see damaging winds also. Elsewhere Elsewhere across the state, the country, I should say, it's looking much more settled. A shower or two for Brisbane and a top of 21. Just a possible coastal shower for Sydney tomorrow with a top of 17, 13 and partly cloudy for Canberra. Morning fog and frost will be widespread across the southeast, so that's what we can expect in Melbourne. Clearing to a sunny day with a top of 14 degrees, 11 and sunny in Hobart, 17 and clear skies for Adelaide, 18 and another chilly night on the way for Alice Springs, while it will be sunny with a top of 32 degrees for Darwin. Now, across the state tomorrow, we are going to see showers right across the southwest land division and across the southwest of the Goldfields and Gascoyne. It will even get into the Eucla by the evening. The threat of thunderstorms will extend from Geraldton to Kalgoorlie right down to the south coast. Esperance, possible storms and a top of 22 degrees. Most notably, the chance of storms particularly will move through on Sunday night, particularly as that next cold front gets through. Winds tomorrow will be gusting up to 50 knots out on the waters. Seas will be to 3 metres, and tomorrow morning sunrise will be at 7:17 a.m. This is how it's looking across Perth tomorrow. You can see persistent showers, rain at times and damaging winds, and then the winds become even stronger Sunday night into Monday. We'll hit a top of 20 degrees across the city tomorrow. Rain throughout the morning and afternoon. The chance of storms most likely through the evening, but we could see the threat of storms throughout the day. Sunday night into Monday, further wild weather. By Tuesday, we're just seeing a few showers with our next front, and then a possible morning shower on Wednesday. The second half of the week looking pretty settled, but the next few days pretty wild. Nerelda.
It'll be great to reach the June average. Thanks very much, Amanda.